this was very hard for me to admit, to talk about. Not a lot of people know this, and not thousands of people know. Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I know you guys missed the pink wall. We're back at it, sitting down, talking about something really serious today. First off, I want to just thank every single person who has accompanied me on this journey. I appreciate all the love and support. I'm not an expert or anything. I'm just here trying to share my story and my tips and how I really got through my entire journey. For those of you who have been watching and have been following along, you would know that the reason why I lost 100 pounds in the first place was because I was overweight. I wasn't taking care of myself. I didn't love myself, and I had to make a change. I got into a really bad car accident, and it was a really low point in my life, and I felt like I could do better. I felt like I could put more into myself. But one of the biggest reasons why I had to lose a lot of weight was because of my PCOS, which is polycystic ovarian syndrome. I've been trying to hold out on this subject for a really long time because this subject is very hard for me to talk about. It's something that's very personal for me. It's something that I grew up with. It's something that I really struggled with in the past. Even after losing so much weight and being so active and taking care of myself, I still have problems with this issue. It's very hard for me to talk about because it made me feel sick. It made me feel very different from a lot of people. It made me feel like something was wrong with me, but there also aren't a lot of videos out there on this diagnosis and what it is, and I feel like I need to share my opinion and my story on it so I can help other people, because no one was there to help me with my PCOS when I was going through it. I'm on Google right now. I'm trying to get the textbook definition of what PCOS is because I don't kind of want to, throw out misleading information out there. So PCOS is a hormonal disorder causing enlarged ovaries with small cysts on the outer edges. Now, you can have polycystic ovarian syndrome and have overgrown cysts on your uterus, but you can also have PCOS without having cysts at all. PCOS is caused by a hormonal imbalance. So basically, you have too much of something going on for your body to not release an egg properly. For women, we have menstruation. We have to release certain hormones. There are a lot of different things that a woman's body has to go through to release an egg. We have a period every single month, but if you have PCOS, you would know that sometimes your periods do not come as often as you would like them to. Basically, you're having a hormonal imbalance. Women with PCOS may have infrequent or prolonged menstrual periods or excess male hormone androgen levels. The symptoms of PCOS include irregular periods, excess androgen, polycystic ovaries, of course, like really bad cramping, all of that jazz. The causes are excess insulin, inflammation. Didn't I tell you that sugar causes inflammation? Excess androgen, and genetics, of course. The complications of PCOS include infertility, diabetes, miscarriage, liver inflammation, a metabolic syndrome, which is basically high blood pressure, high blood sugar, abnormal cholesterol, type 2 diabetes, sleep apnea, depression, of course, hormonal mood imbalances. And now I'm gonna get into my story and how this kind of affected my entire life. So the reason why I had to lose a lot of weight quickly was because of this medical disorder that I have. It's also the reason why I still live a very strict active lifestyle, because there is no cure for this, so therefore it didn't go away. It's just managed because I am thinner and because I am living healthier. I started my menstrual cycle when I was 9 years old. When you are overweight, and especially your entire life, you're not going to have regular hormonal things happen to you. You have a higher chance of being depressed. You have a higher chance of not being physically capable to do stuff. There's something wrong that's going on if you are overweight. I mentioned that in my last videos, that's kind of just like my belief system, that I believe that if you are dealing with something internally, it'll manifest physically. I got my menstrual cycle when I was about 9 years old, and it was fine up until about the 6th grade. When I hit about 12 years old, that's kind of when my signs of PCOS started coming through. This is gonna sound very extreme, and I cannot believe that I'm sharing this with thousands of people. I feel very vulnerable in this moment, so I just ask that you guys please respect my story. When I started having my periods at 11, 12, 13, I would be on my period for 6 months at a time. I know that sounds very extreme, but that was my reality. It would not stop to the point where I couldn't even get out of bed sometimes. I was so fatigued all of the time. This also caused, of course, like just physical fatigued, but also like mental fatigued. I felt stressed out all the time because when I was younger, I would only wear pads. Imagine continuously not being able to stop your menstrual cycle and being on it heavily for 6 months at a time. Every day you wake up, you're exhausted. Every single day you go to school, you can't focus, you're tired, you just want to go home and go to sleep. You get PCOS, especially when you're obese or when you're overweight, extremely, because your body is having an issue regulating itself, especially if you're having an issue with insulin. Insulin regulates your blood sugar in your body. So when you're eating out of control, then your insulin is out of control, then your blood sugar is out of control, then a lot of things become out of control, and it's kind of hard for your body to balance back. My periods were very, very painful. I had cramps so badly to the point where I had to go to the hospital every single time I had a period. When I was younger, my period pain wasn't that bad. It was pretty bad, but when I got older, like 17, 18 at my heaviest, every single time I had my period, I had to go to the doctor. I was given a muscle relaxer. I was given ibuprofen because ibuprofen is an anti-inflammatory and it can help with PCOS. I was given a bunch of medication to basically calm my uterus down, and then I would have to like call off of work. I would have to just lay in bed. It was excruciating, one, to the point where I couldn't even walk half of the time, that I would just be sitting in bed crying, waiting for my medication to kick in. I would be so physically drained. When you're dealing with a hormonal disorder, you have to really account for everything that goes into your hormones. So along with the pain, of course, for my menstrual cycle, not being able to release an egg properly, having extra hormones in my system to the point where it's causing me pain because my body doesn't realize that I'm not on my period or I am on my period and when it needs to stop, because there's so many hormones regulating that could also lead to excessive hair growth. I don't know what you consider like excessive hair growth, but for me, I have hair issues too. I get a lot of excessive hair, especially like on my chin and underneath my neck. Still to this day, I still have a problem where I have to regularly wax and shave my face and my eyebrows. It grows so fast, like literally within like 3 days after nairing or shaving or waxing, my hair will grow back again, and this is just a problem that I've always dealt with. I mean, I'm happy it's just on my face, but still, it's tedious to deal with, especially when you wear makeup, especially when you're a woman and you're trying to look feminine and every 3 days your mustache is back. I also had strong depression because of my PCOS, because even till this day, no, I'm not technically depressed, but I'm able to feel when I'm about to start my menstrual cycle, because even though I don't bleed as heavily as I used to, I don't have the excruciating pain anymore because I am smaller, I am a lot healthier, I am taking care of myself, I still have symptoms of PCOS. This thing that I had was very dangerous because it's not controllable. You can control it by losing weight, sure. You can control it by taking ibuprofen. This disorder has literally controlled my entire life, which is why the way that I live now is very, very extreme, because I felt sick. There's so many things that I missed out on and didn't feel comfortable with doing. Stopped me in dealing with relationships, being romantic with people. There have been many times where I was at school and I had to be sent home early because I couldn't control myself. And I know that sounds ridiculous, like you're a teenager, you're an adult, why can't you do it? You don't understand. It's not controllable. I have to deal with the pain. I have to deal with it until my body decides that it's done doing that for the time being. The reason why I had this issue was because I was overweight in the first place. Eating is very, very important. It is who you are. It is what you will become. It's not just you eat something and it passes through your intestines. Number one, your intestines are super, super super long. Number two, there is a bunch of hormonal processes that go into yourself feeling hungry. There's leptin, there's ghrelin, there's dopamine. There's so many neurotransmitters that fire off when you eat, and digestion is a very complex process. It literally requires your whole body to digest what you are eating. You are eating crazy amounts, especially sugar, your body isn't going to act right. Sugar is inflammatory. I've explained this before. Dairy is inflammatory. Processed meat is also very inflammatory. If you eat too much excess sugar, your insulin will not be able to be regulated. And insulin is a hormone that goes into blood sugar regulation. I felt weak all the time. I felt sick all the time. I felt like so not normal from everyone else, because I know a lot of people around me were not dealing with this issue. A lot of people weren't 260 pounds at the age of 17. Not only was it physically exhausting, mentally exhausting, but it hurt. It was excruciating. I would cramp continuously. It would not stop. It would be relentless pain. Every time I went to the doctor, they would tell me that, oh, it's just a period. You either need to lose weight or you just need to deal with it. Yes, it was my fault because I was overweight and I wasn't taking care of myself and my eating was out of control. But at the same time, it sucks dealing with something and not being able to fix it or help yourself. This hormonal imbalance was making me depressed. Now, even to this day, I still don't have a regular period. That sounds kind of weird because it's like, how could you have PCOS? Well, PCOS isn't just heavy irregular periods. It's irregular periods in general. Another thing that went along with having this disorder was extreme hunger. I got hungry all of the time. All of the time. My hunger would be insatiable to the point where it's like I just kept eating and eating and eating because my hormones were not balanced. Or I would just want to like eat salty things and drink and eat or sugary things to make myself feel better. You can't just neglect yourself and let everything go haywire. The reason why I went on this fitness journey of mine was because I wanted to feel healthy and I wanted to feel good about myself. Yes, I still deal with some of the issues today, but they're not as severe as they used to be. Like now, the only thing that I experience is sometimes I feel really hungry or really tired or, you know, a little bit irritated, but I feel like that's natural when you're dealing with a menstrual cycle. I don't think that's really out of the usual. Problem that I am having now is now I don't menstruate enough. It's kind of concerning because, of course, I'm a woman and I'm an adult and I have that question being asked, like, am I gonna have kids? And that is something that I really have to examine and face because I don't know if I can. That's extremely hard for me to say. This disorder causes infertility because you can't properly release an egg. And that is something that I think about often. It's something that makes me cry a lot. It isn't normal and it wasn't okay and it should have been managed earlier, but how do you manage something that isn't curable and isn't treatable except for losing weight? And I did that. I kind of reversed some symptoms, but at the same time it's like now I'm not even menstruating and that is hard for me to swallow. The only way you can manage it is by losing weight, is by regulating your system, especially cutting out sugar and dairy and meat. I'm okay because I did better for myself and I understand what it's like being sick and getting better. I had PCOS, I was disabled, I had lost everything and I still overcame it. I still wake up every morning and go and work out and try my best. I still try to be as healthy as I can be because I've been there before and I know how it feels to feel unhealthy. Pray that you guys fix whatever is going on with you internally so you don't have to go to this extreme that I went to. If you can stop it by losing weight now, if you can reverse PCOS or diabetes by cutting out sugar, then that's what you need to do. Playing with your health is no joke. It is not a game because you will be sick if you do not take care of yourself. If you keep on eating mindlessly, don't exercise, it's not gonna be okay. You will not be okay. Because I wasn't okay. Thank you guys. Please just remember to take care of yourself. That's all. Thank you for listening to my story, and I'll see you in the next video.